What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you live, because today, Arslan Season 2, Episode 5 is here. And with it, this episode reveals the main antagonist of this arc, which was to be expected, because I talked about this quite a bit in my last week's episode review of Arslan. So, Narcissus' friend is revealed to be the man that is doing the shady shit behind the scenes. The one that's backing the pirates, giving the pirates the information to be able to steal from other merchants. So it is officially confirmed at the end of this episode. So, as I discussed in my last week's episode review, I'm really looking forward to this because, for one, seeing Narcissus going up against a man that has almost probably a similar level of intelligence as him, it adds a very interesting aspect to this arc, because you're wondering, how can Narcissus, outsmart his friend if his friend is almost as smart as him and used to actually outthink him in the past. Now, we'll have to see where that goes, because depending on how the story goes, maybe the friend will do a very bad mistake or move, and he's going to mess up, and then Narcissus is going to realize, and we'll have the typical outcome of Narcissus being able to outthink his opponent. But whatever the case may be, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it is handled. So besides that, there is two things that describe this episode: merchants and pirates. Literally, that's exactly what this episode really is. I mean, you have it where the Viceroy, he's kind of dethroned and he's removed thanks to Arslan finding out what he's actually doing, which I want to get into that first before I get into the merchants versus the pirate stuff. So, the Viceroy, as we saw his introduction in last week's episode, we knew there was something going on. He seemed rather crooked, he seemed like he was just putting on this mask, this face, and just not really revealing overall what was really happening at the time when Arslan needed men, needed help, and all that, and the entire country needed help. It looked like this man wasn't really giving a shit at all. And you have it to where Arslan goes along and trying to figure out what this man is really after, what has he been doing behind the scenes, and thanks to, Arslan and his company, they managed to figure out what he's been doing, how he's been stealing money from everybody, been just enriching himself through his greed, and also using the people throughout the entire city after all the turmoil that's happened in the entire country. So because of this, majority of the first half of the episode is kind of focused on that, of seeing Arslan kind of removing the main leader of the town, and then going to be putting a new political leader ahead of the town for the town could continue to prosper. Now, as we know, the town is in kind of a good state, in a bad state. It was revealed with the world building we had in last week's episode. I mean, it seems like it's overall a prosperous city. It seems like there's a lot of wealth coming in, and it seems like it's, a fairly good city. And I mean, we did hear about some slavery and stuff, and how the town does have this crooked practices going on, and Arslan being there, most likely he's going to be trying to fix this before he finally ends up leaving the town. So, overall, the town is probably going into a really great direction after this episode, because the merchant that Arslan saved at the end of last week's episode, Arslan is thinking of making him the new Viceroy, making him the man that leads the entire town, and also this man will be the financial backer to Arslan, for Arslan can actually have money to fuel his army. So it's some really good stuff. Now, getting off of that, let's talk about the pirates versus the merchants. And it's something that, since I'm a big fan of economics, politics, and I love Spice and Wolf, which is, riddled with a bunch of this type of stuff, and merchants as well, I really am a big fan of these type of episodes. I'm a fan of any time there's like a merchant or something inside of an anime or a manga, because I just love getting to see this different side of it. It reminds me of one of my favorite series of all time, Spice and Wolf. And one of the things I was thinking of when I was watching this episode was that pirates and merchants are very similar. Now, hear me out. I know there's different things, there's different things about them, but they're very similar if you get down to the cold hard details. Pirates are a type of people that want to rob you, steal everything from you. They'll put a knife to your fucking throat and say, give me your fucking gold coins. They're point blank with it. They'll tell you exactly what they want. A merchant, on the other hand, they will have pretty words, and they'll talk to you, make you feel like they're your friend, and then they'll rob you blind. In a way, what I'm getting at is that merchants are very similar to pirates, but their practices and the way they do things is a little bit different. See, they both are robbing, or they both do different, dastardly things, but I mean, you have to where pirates are straight up about it, and merchants are just behind the scenes and just steal out of your fucking pocket. You won't even realize it. You will not even realize it. And if these merchants actually were worth their salt, they wouldn't have been caught. Like, for instance, Narcissus' friend most likely wouldn't be caught, because, I mean, if there is one thing I have learned about Spice and Wolf, is that when you have a merchant that really has been in the game for a long time, those bastards won't be caught. They won't. No, those bastards cover their tracks. They know. They'll get you with all that goods and merchandise and stuff. They really know what to do. So overall, though, I feel like this episode was enjoyable for me because of my, I guess, particular bias towards merchants, economics, and money and stuff. It's just my type of thing I like. And so the episode was enjoyable, seeing, Arslan getting a financial backer, seeing these merchants, battling the pirates, going at them and stuff. And overall, the episode was an enjoyable episode. Nothing spectacular, obviously. Even though I enjoyed it, it was nothing spectacular at all. And I mean, a lot of the stuff was actually kind of, you could guess. You could kind of guess what was going to happen. It was a very predictable episode, especially with the outcome of the episode. And the pirates, honestly, they were a little bit stupid. They shouldn't have rushed in and, caused that type of, grief or conflict, because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have been caught, and then now, Narcissus' friend most likely wouldn't be caught as well. So thanks to the pirates being kind of stupid, it's caused it to where the entire operation is going to be coming, down. It's going to be just tumbling down. So yeah, I enjoyed the episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.